So in this video I'm going to show you how to set up roll feed production on your JWEI JCUT cutter. So the very first thing that we need to do is obviously make sure we have the correct tool in. Now I'm actually going to be using the laser pointer and not the UCT, but it would be the UCT that I'm going to be using for this job as I'm going to be cutting vinyl. So then I'm going to go around to the back of the machine and we need to check the setup of our roll holder. So we've got two options for our roll holder. You can either put the roll on the bars here like I've done there, or we can take this off here, which just lifts up. We can take the bar off and then we can actually then put our core through the middle there and we can put our holders on the end to clamp the roll into place. This means that we're going to have no sideways movement of this roll on the back of the machine. Now the actual roll holder itself as well, it's important that it's actually nice and square to the back of the machine, else as your roll goes off onto the table, it's going to actually go off skew and we don't want that. Now we have wheels on it which we can lock in place. You can also put the feet down and actually permanently lock it in place as well. The last thing to note is that on these bars you also have these as well, so you can position those each side of the roll to stop it from moving as much. We find it's a lot easier to set up a heavier roll on these ones, and it's better to set a roll that needs to be perfectly accurate on this one. So now I've done that, I'm going to get my material and I'm going to pull it out and put it onto the bed of my machine. Just like that. Now I don't need to push it all the way onto the table because I can use the fence and pull it on for me. So there's my job. Other thing I need to look at is just make sure it's over enough. So I'm probably just going to move it just a little bit across. There we go. So now that's in position, ready to go. So I'm going to come round to the front of the machine. I'm going to go into JWCam. In JWCam I'm going to press my up arrow just so that my head is over the top of my material there. I'm then going to go to press feeding, which is just here. Then I'm going to press my down arrow and that's going to clamp the bed and pull my job forward, just like that. So now we can see we've got two copies on the bed, they're ready to go. So with this job, I need to think about positioning. Whenever we're cutting a job that is either longer than the table or on the roll feed, we want to make sure we get it nice and close to the front of the table because that's just going to help its production sort of setup. So that looks good to me. It's nice and straight, all good there. Then I need to think about my setup in here. So have I done my tool depth? Have I made sure suction zones are correct if they're not on auto? Everything looks good in there. I don't need a temporary origin because I'm using registration marks. Then I need to go to OptiScout and I need to import my job. So file import, I'm going to find my job, just there. So the next thing I need to do is identify which way round this job is. So I can see that I've got two registration marks fairly close on this side. So I'm going to say that that is not the correct way around at the moment. So I'm going to select the whole thing. I'm going to go to flip axis on the top there a couple of times. And now that looks to be the right way around. Now that's set up in there, I now just need to set my layer up. So I'm in not defined at the moment because I'm not using the material. If I want to use the material, I can go into here and select one of my materials. But I would like to set this up manually, so I'm going to go default, pointer, so it's just going to use the laser pointer, and I'm then going to go to output to device. So there's nothing else that I need to do in this screen. Now in this screen, we need to make sure that we're on device JWEI TB series, mode, output with layer assignment, output profile needs to change from standard to roll. Then we need to check our table width is correct and our length is correct. We're going to put it on production. Production means that it's automatically going to search for the next job, which is what we want. Material is a roll, perfect. Number of copies, so this is where I can set my copies, so I'm going to go for 3. Then we've got number outputs in the Y and the X direction, so we don't need to put anything in there. That is if you've got multiple copies on the bed at the same time. We don't need to put any offsets in there because we're going to do it on the fly when it goes to find the next job. We don't need to change any other settings in here, we just need to make sure that our compensation method is correct down there as well. And that's it. So I'm going to press output. So I'm going to come up with my camera screen there, ready to go. Now I'm just using my arrow keys on here on my keyboard to find my first reg mark, which as you can see, that's now red, so I can press my enter button. So now it's just finding the rest of my registration marks for me. And you'll see the vacuum has now been changed correctly. And then you can see it's now doing my cut. So I've just got this on a slow laser pointer at the moment so I can see where it's going. It's great for calibration, it's great for setting up the machine. Obviously we'd be cutting this a lot quicker with our knife. Now I'm going to go to the back of the table. It's going to clamp down my fence. It's going to bring my material forward for me. And it's going to bring that registration mark there to the same place that that last one was in. So now it's hovering over the top of my registration marks. It's now asking me to confirm the position. Now the position it's got is actually the wrong mark. So I'm going to move it, use my arrow keys again. There's the mark I'd like, press enter. Now it's updated that position now, so the next copy will also be correct. So now, as you can see, it's just plotting out the position of that job. So now it's finished that one. Same again, fence is going to come down, pulls the material forward. Then it's going to go and find this registration mark for me automatically. Now it's found the next job without us having to input anything into there. And if you had 50 copies, it will now just carry on doing the job as is. So that's an in-depth sort of tutorial on how to use your roll feed function on your JWEI JCUT cutter.